So we're on our way out to Birmingham, Alabama to do a consulting gig with our friends over at EQRP company. We're hosting a podcast with Damian Lupo, the CEO and founder of EQRP, and doing a little consulting, talking about marketing and building brand and marketing funnels. This is kind of the beginning of our journey where things go really well till they don't.
It's 5:05 a.m. We've been up since 3. Never smooth at the airport.
More advertising. Our flight got delayed, very annoying. We were on time. We were early, actually.
So now we're stuck in Chicago, and we had to figure out where we were going to stay for the night. So we quickly jumped on Airbnb and found the cheapest possible apartment that we could find. Plus, C-Rock, he'd never been to Chicago. So we had to make sure we went downtown, walked around, and made some more content. We were going to EQRP because they're good friends of ours. We're actually customers of EQRP, and they helped us set up our own self-directed 401k. And we were helping them build marketing funnels. So this was kind of the kickoff as we kicked off the consulting engagement that we were doing with them.
All right, Samson, we're about to board our flight to go on our meeting. How are you feeling?
Worried that our bag didn't make it.
Yeah, there was a bag fiasco.
Or our bag made it and we didn't.
Our bag was not with us because we missed our layover. And then we get this great notification from United that our bag made the flight, but we did not. And we had no idea where it was.
I'm happy to mention that we found our bag. Come on, let's go. It arrived safely. They held it for us.
When we first got there, the very first thing we did was show up to the EQRP office and hang out with the whole crew.
That's Darius.
Darius, David.
Pleasure, my friend. Nice to meet you, man.
Parker and I have known each other for a long time. He's the president.
He said, we're just going through a little bit of a renovation.
Just a little renovation.
They actually bought a bank and then they're tearing it apart. So we saw the whole crew and met the whole team and got the tour.
So this is going to be our production studio right here when it gets done. What's up, so we just wiped it all out, open floor plan. We're like, all right, like just
Yeah, I like it. It's way
see what
better.
we can do. So yeah, we got vault, old bank vault over there. It's cool.
What? That is so sweet.
Damian and David, who are the co-founders and the co-owners of the business, we've done business together for a long time as well. So it was really cool. For the very first time, we got to meet in person on their territory at their brand new office. So we saw the whole crew and met the whole team and got the tour.
It's funny. I feel like a lot of titles are just kind of like, this is what we do, but we can't really figure the title out for it because it's still evolving.
So true. I literally came up with my title out there in the lobby with Damian. Nick and I were shooting, and Nick was like, what's your title? And I was like, Damian, what's my title? Partner Relations? Sick. Hey, I'm Joel Landon.
Yeah, pumped to see how the office turns out. You know, what's cool about EQRP is they're really going against the traditional legacy banking and financial system. So I thought it was apropos for them to be buying a bank, tearing it apart. And the coolest part was they had a little actual bank vault inside of the building where they keep things like maybe like guns or something like that. Just in case there's a revolution, they are in the South. Yeah, it was great. Damian has a great podcast. He's been podcasting for a very long time. That's actually the very first way that I met him was he was on a podcast talking about EQRP, and the dude's a great interviewer, just a wealth of knowledge, been an entrepreneur for a really long time. We went out to Pursell Farms, which is 5 years running, best golf course in all Alabama. And Parker Purcell, the president of EQRP, his family founded that whole entire farm and golf course, and he gave us the tour, and it was incredible.
But growing up, so everything you see here was nothing but raw farmland when I was a kid. Dirt bikes, four-wheelers, like all I had was trails. Yeah. And a metal gate that I would have to open up and come back and chain link shut. I'd come home from school, I'd ask Mom what time dinner was, and then I'd say, all right, I'll see you then. I'd be gone with my brother for hours out here, just tearing it up. This right here, this was the original house that my grandparents bought out here when we started acquiring land around here. It's called the Hamilton House. My grandparents are buried out there. It's just cool. Like, you know, you actually are faced with death, but also the question of like, what will I be remembered for? Which is really cool. And so my grandparents lived here for 30-something years, and used to be an old shack that sat right there. But when we designed this concept though, my dad wanted, like my dad's somebody that if he's gonna do it, he's gonna like burn the boats. It costs what it costs. If we do it, You know, so Jameis Winston said, if we do it big then. Like, that's what he did. He said, I want to make this the Augusta National of wedding venues. And so when we designed it, we took the top designer that came and hosted a bunch of weddings and said, what would make the brides that we want say yes? And she walked us through this whole concept, and then we built it. We did exactly what she said. You have this long walkway down, right? All the brides walk down. And you have all the chairs set up down there to get married up under that arbor. But as a kid, you know, for me, what I see is time spent with my grandparents paddle boating out there with them, you know, fishing for brim, like just going out there and throwing catfish food, watching all the catfish jump up. And, you know, the goal and the aim is that everybody remembers my granddad, because without him, like, you know, none of this really would have happened without God leading him to just start buying everything. Like the picture, when you paint it in the macro, makes a lot of sense.
100%.
But when he's buying up a ton of raw farmland, like, what are you gonna do with it? And you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't have a vision for it yet, but I want it. I feel that I need to buy it.
Your grandfather started this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can have aspirations for, oh, Lord, I'd love to have something like this. But the truth is, you may not see it.
Mm-hmm.
It may be your grandson.
Yep.
It may be your grandson. You know, people like, you know, Cole, he's first generation doing something. You may not see this. You may not see this, bro. But your son's son might see it, you know? And that's real. It's actually quite touching to see, because like I'm saying, that's striking me that this is the third generation.
Uh-huh.
It didn't look like this for Grandpa.
No.
It didn't. But he saw it.
Mm-hmm.
He saw it, but he didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's powerful.
Yeah.
Sometimes we want to revel in the glory. We want to feel all of the everything. It's like, no, you just might have a portion in God's plan. That's sufficient, because your name is still attached to where God's plan is today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your Grandpa is still attached to it today.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just.
And it's cool, like,
humbling, man.
when you're a part of something much bigger than yourself. How big is the land? 3,200 acres. Wow. The fam, it's my grandparents. So they're the ones that, the matriarch and patriarch. My dad and my mom. So what was cool is, you know, my dad was, this is Arnold Cleghorn right here, who is our CFO. Probably one of the brightest financial minds, and really we attribute a lot of the growth to our company just with his, he was a shark. Just, oh my God, oh my goodness, yeah. This is called The Secret Place.
You know, business is hard, and it's even harder when you're doing it with people who don't share your same values. And coming out to Birmingham, hanging out with the EQRP team, hanging out with Parker, who's just a tremendous entrepreneur, a fellow Christian entrepreneur. And we're sitting at the top of this hill that they call The Secret Place, which is like the last untouched part of the original farm. And you're looking over the entire segment of Birmingham, Alabama. And we just talked about life, prayed for each other, and we really just bonded as friends. And it was the perfect way to cap off a trip like this. Then we were like, peace out. We went home.